So just going to go over today's PA on NQ, and we're going to start off with our trade at the start of London that I missed. Okay, so came onto the charts, and today is Monday, the 23rd of February, 2026, and I came on literally at 7 a.m. In the UK time, so 2 a.m. New York, and I came on and I couldn't get into this trade because my trade of eight wasn't logging me in, so I ended up missing the trade. Aggressively, you could have put stops there. We're just using the uptrend, continuing. Um, I most likely would have had my stops. Oh, I most likely would have had my stops at least here just to give it a bit of space to breathe, and that's a 1.5R trade. Okay, so that was a winner that I missed. Okay, and then there was no revenge trade in here. Try and take a short off the level. Okay, I still believed we was going to continue up. As you can see, literally from midnight all the way till near enough 2 a.m. We've been going bullish slowly. Then we get a little bit of movement in London to start. Obviously, it pushes through. We missed the trade. So ideally, I was just waiting for longs here. Okay. And then obviously, price lingers around for about an hour and a half, near enough. Yeah, about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. And then we see this huge push up. Okay. So as far as I was concerned, we just had a nice bullish move. And then we consolidated around in between two levels. Again, nothing for me. I had my alerts set at this level here, just above these highs when all this was going on. Okay, price smashes through here. Ideally, we could have taken this candle here, okay, but I wanted a little bit more extra confirmation. And the reason for that was obviously just due to the fact that this push here wasn't convincing, okay, so I thought maybe we would dip a bit lower and then continue higher, and then I'll take entry where I took entry. Okay, but we didn't do that. So my bias was still bullish. Once we see this big push here, okay, on this candle at what time was that? At 3:53. Okay, I just took entry off this fair value gap basically. Um, Obviously, as you can see, my entry was a little bit lower just due to the fact that I ended up getting a better entry. Stops, I put them down here just again back to what I just reiterated a minute ago. I just wasn't sure in case we could come down. We got one FEG, two FEG, three FEGs covered. As far as I'm concerned, if price did come down here, I wouldn't really be expecting it to continue up anyway. So I covered at least 50% of the range basically. It's not something I always do, but in general terms, it's just something that I make sure that I give it enough room to breathe. Um, Probably could have give it two fair value gaps, but then we have this sort of order block area here where maybe we could have seen price bounce off. So for me, it was just an ideal trade. First trade of the week as well. I just give it enough room to breathe. Obviously, we didn't even need that. The original first fair value gap I expected to bounce price did exactly what it should. And within about, what was this, a few minutes of consolidation at the end of the hour, as I've always reiterated through my videos, the back end of hours is normally a bit quiet, anyways. And then we open up new hour and run straight to TP. Minimal drawdown, near enough straight to TP 11 minutes after the new candle open. Okay, that was me done in London. Then we come over to New York, and my first trade here was shorts. Okay, so again, we have that trade up, and as we can see, I always take 1.5R due to the fact that for some reason, in all my data testing that I did over the last 6-7 months, we always seem to bounce around after hitting 1.5R. So for me, I just find it much easier on my psychology to take that. And as you can see, price sort of does bounce around that level, comes down, starts to make quite aggressive moves down, wicks back up, but continues. Okay, so it just starts to continue down. And then we come into New York here, okay, at 7 a.m., which is the start of the New York session. We have a big push down just before that, okay? So when I seen this move back and then we push down again here, this little four candles here just gave me enough confidence that we've already broken this. It wasn't majorly convincing, but it was quite aggressive at the time. Obviously, live, these are 1 minute candles. So I just took a trade off the bottom of this wick, obviously expecting price to just continue down towards this previous week's point of control. And as you can see, we sort of linger a little bit. We do make a nice move where did we get to at one point? We was at about just over 1R, okay? So not like majorly far off. And then price did come back up, retest the level, start to push again. As you can see here, at this point, if I move that out of the way a minute, here I was thinking, okay, we've retested, pardon me, we've still respected this fair value gap, and then we can go lower. Didn't quite happen, and we end up taking a loss. At this point, I took a little break. I walked away from the charts just before open. Obviously, we got 8:30, which is 1:30 here. We didn't really have any red folder news. We had a little bit of orange folder, which is nothing major, nothing that even happened. And then I just wanted to see what the open done really. So I was 1 win and 1 loss for the day already. The win was on my the win was on my live. The loss was on the live, another live and an eval, and then my last loss was on a live and an eval as well. So I've been trying to run my accounts separately to deal with the psychology of wanting to be in trades, 1 trade a day on each account. Win or lose, I don't touch that account again. And when I mean accounts, sometimes I mean obviously I might have 2 or 3 accounts with one company, but that company I won't use again in that day. So let's say I use Alpha and I take this loss. I might have 5 accounts, 3 accounts, however many accounts I have that are all simultaneously running. I won't be taking another trade with Alpha on that. Like if they're live Alpha accounts, I won't take them again that day. And then if I want to take an eval Alpha account, then I'll only take that on the next trade, for example. So yeah, so we took a -1. Price does sort of go back through the level, linger, and then ultimately it does push. Okay, and then we come up here. We tried to get to this previous week's value area high, and when we see this at open, I thought, right, that was the next move. Okay, to sort of test these levels out, and I probably would have looked to go long. We get this massive, massive move down. Okay, and then we come into this previous day's value area low. So I would have taken a trade from here, like from this fair value gap on the level, but I wouldn't have known really where to put my stops. I don't really want to have my stops all the way up here because it just would have been a massive, massive trade. And it's just not for me. I mean, if you look at that, it would have took quite a while to win. So I just wanted to have a little bit more extra confirmation and get a better trade, really. So then we sort of linger around. We get this massive, huge push down where we've gone from one level through another level here at 10:05. So all I wanted to do was really enter on this fair value gap, which I did on an Alpha Live account. But on this specific trade, I took it on an eval off of the previous week's point of control. Again, stops. You could have them up here. For me, I just thought I'm covering 2 levels here as in the previous day's val and the previous week's point of control. So just having my stops there, if we're going to run this, likelihood we're going to run these 2 is going to be high. So yeah, I just didn't really want to see the levels get broken. I wasn't too bothered about the wicks at this point. And as you can see, we do come in quite aggressive, bounce around, come back up, retest, and then go short, ultimately hitting 1.5R. On that said Alpha Live account, I did actually take. So I got in with 2 contracts on my lives, and then I ended up scaling in another position here, just like this, for another 1.5R. So around about there. So this trade and this trade together, I closed at around about the bottom of this massive move down, so near enough where the 1.5R is. So really nice trades overall. This was a really, really nice trade. This was more high probable than this because this is a little bit sideways. Obviously, at this point, you've seen we pushed quite aggressively through, start breaking the lows. Yeah, and retested the fair value gap and printed lower. So really, really nice trades. And that was all I took. So in the end, I ended up taking 3 trades, 2 wins and 1 loss. So yeah, really nice day. And as you can see, there's the trades we took. Obviously, we missed out on that tiny little aggressive one at the start of the day, but that was the start of the London session on a Monday, so it's not really a big deal. So 2 wins, 1 loss, done for the day.